All right, I can graph midpoints. So we're going to look at coordinate geometry, plotting points, and reviewing how to plot and find midpoints. So starting with this first one, again, for each of these problems, I would encourage you to pause it, work it out yourself, and then watch me explain it and check to see if you got it correct. So for this first one, it says plot A at 2, 2 and B at 8, 10. So I'm going to plot A at 2, 2, and then I'm going to plot B at 8, 10. So top, and then I'm going to connect them. Okay, so you got A and you got B. Now, in order, part C says to plot C at the midpoint of AB. So in order to do this, we're going to want to find the slope triangle. So the easiest way to do this is to draw our slope triangle. So I'm going to start at point A, and I'm going to go up, and then I'm going to go over to B. So my rise would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then my run's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I want the midpoint, I want halfway. So you can think of a dilation as well. We want to cut this triangle in half. So instead of going up 8 and to the right 6, I want to go up 4 and to the right 3. So I'm going to go up 4 and to the right 3. Now, if my graph was drawn to scale, or I drew this line straight, that should have been where that would have been. But that's the idea of it, is you are cutting it in half. Okay, so that satisfies this part, and then part D says plot D at the midpoint of AC. So now, this is point C. It's the exact same problem, but you just want to focus on this part of the graph. So now I've already got my slope triangle drawn here of 8 and 3, so now I just need to half those numbers. So instead of going up 8, this time I'm going to go up 2 and to the right 1.5, which is going to put point D right here. Again, as you can see, because my graph was not quite drawn to scale, my points got a little off, but they would be there halfway on this line if I had put B in the right place. Looking at the second problem over here, this says plot X at 2, 2 and Y at -1, 4. So I'm going to start with that. Again, just make sure you're using the first number in that ordered pair is the X coordinate. So make sure you're going in the X direction first and then the Y direction. All right, so now this one says plot Z 1/3 of the way from X to Z. So we're still going to start by doing the same thing, drawing your slope triangle. Remember, you can draw your slope triangle on either side of the line. You'll get the same answer. So I'm going to do this one on the right side. So my run, I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and to the right 1, 2, 3. So if I want to go 1/3 of the way from X to Z, first of all, we should kind of recognize that it's going to be somewhere in this area. It's going to be closer to X than it is to Y. And so to figure this out, we have to think about what is 1/3 of 6, and that would be 2. Now, another way to do that is to take 6 and multiply it by 1/3. You can do that in your calculator, or if you remember how to multiply fractions, multiply your numerators, denominators, that reduces to 2. So instead of going down 6 this time, we're just going to go down 2. And then for my run, it is 3. So instead of going over 3, we want to do 1/3 of that. So we've got 3 over 3, which simplifies to 1. So we're just going to go over 1 unit, which is going to put us right here at Z. So notice this is 1/3 of the way. We could pick this piece up and we could repeat it 3 times, or repeat it twice, I guess. Once, twice, 3 times, and it should fit on that line. All right, let's look at this example here. It says plot M at 0.81 and O at 0.5. Plot L 3/4 of the way from M to O. So first thing to do would be to plot these points. O is at 0, 5, 5. So 3/4 again, we're going to start the same way. We're going to draw our slope triangle. So for this one, I'm going to go up 4 and to the left 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So again, if I want to go 3/4, I don't want to go up 1/3 of the way. I don't want to go up half the way. I want to go up 3/4 of the way. And it does say from M to O, so that means I am going to start at point M when I'm counting to keep it from M. So since this one is 3/4 of the way from M to O, we should kind of recognize that that point is going to be somewhere over here. It's going to be closer to O because 3/4 is greater than a half. So again, back to the problem, we go up 4. So instead of going up 4, we want to go up 3/4. So again, some of you guys might be able to recognize that that's just going up 3, but if you need, you can always use a calculator or multiply it out. So 4 times 3 is 12, 4 times 1 is 4. So that means our rise is up 3. So again, we're going to go up 1, 2, 3 instead of 4. Then to figure out our run, right now it's at 8, and again we want 3/4 of 8, so we have to figure out what is 3/4 of the way from 8. So 8 times 3 is going to give us 24. 24 divided by 4 is going to give us 6. So we're going to go to the left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units, and that's going to put us right here, and this point is at 2, 4. So that's one thing I haven't really done on the other problems, but I'll do here for you. So L is at 2, 4. Again, make sure I talked about this in class. These numbers, your 3, 6, 4, 8, are just your slope triangles, but the actual coordinate, going back to the X and Y axis, point L is located at 2, 4. And then I've got one more, so if you want to do another example, you can take a look at this one. This one's pretty simple. We just want to plot these 2 points, and then we want to plot H back at the midpoint. So going back to very similar to the one we first did. So J, we're going to put at -3, 2. And then we're going to put K at 1, 4. So from here, the midpoint, so I'm going to go to the right, 1, 2, 3, and up 2. Please don't let this throw you off if you get a decimal. So if we're looking at the midpoint, that means we're going halfway. So half of 3 is 1.5. So I'm going to come over 1.5 units. So all that's going to do is it's going to put me kind of in the middle of this grid. So instead of being on a line, it's going to be in between 0 and -1. And then instead of going up 2, I'm going to go up 1, and that's going to put me right here, H. So again, I'll give you the coordinate to help make it easier so you can check yourself. So this is going to be at -0.5. Again, it's half of unit. And then it's up 1, 2, 3. So there's its coordinate.